So this is going to be a video basically about what Marvel and Activision, what other Marvel characters they could put out since they've come out with a lot of Spider-Man games, and that's been successful. So why not capitalize and do other Marvel solo games, other than another Marvel Alliance game, because 2 wasn't all that great. First and foremost, like I said in the last video, I would love to have a Spider-Man 2099 game. Now I know they've done a lot of Spider-Man type games, but I wouldn't mind if they focused on one of the alternate realities. So they've done Spider-Man 2099 and Shattered Dimensions. They're going to do them in the new Edge of Time game. So, why not let him have... And it seems like 2099 seems to be like the... Miguel O'Hara seems to be like the big favorite out of all the Spider-Men. So I guess that's why they're doing another one with him in it. So why not just put a game with it's just him? I mean, like I said, I'd really like a game where you could explore the 2099 universe. I mean, you can meet the Hulk of the year 2099, you can meet the Punisher of the year 2009, even have Doom in there. Doom was, ruler of the world in that universe. You could also have, bring in, other Spider-Man enemies reinvented. There's all kinds of stuff you could do, because they didn't, Spider-Man 2099, we had Dr. Octopus of that year. We never saw that before. So, and I'd really like to see, like I said, free roam. Free roam would be awesome for a character like Miguel. Web slinging around a city that's completely futuristic. Also have a darker Spider-Man game. This is a darker character. He's not exactly a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I mean, he's got a skull for a spider emblem. So he's willing to beat the crap out of you. Also, also, I'd like to have Peter David would be cool on here. He was the guy who basically wrote the 2099 universe. So I think it'd be kind of fun, and I'd actually, for some reason, I want to see, the guy who did his voice in Shattered Dimensions, the guy who did Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, or maybe someone younger, because Miguel's a younger person, if I remember right, 'cause it's been a while since I've read 2099. So maybe, Samuel Vincent. I think he'd be pretty cool as Spider-Man, 2099 Spider-Man. But yeah, this is a guy. I know that I'm pretty much done. I know they've done a lot. I mean, a lot of Activision and Marvel have done a lot of Spider-Man type games. But I wouldn't mind if they came out with another Spider-Man game focusing on one of the alternate realities. And I think that's what they're trying to push for. But anyway, moving on to Moon Knight. Yeah, Moon Knight. This would be an excellent game. I mean, if Marvel takes a look at Batman Arkham Asylum, they could easily bring out Moon Knight, because he is a cult favorite character. I can't wait for Bendis and Malieve to see what they do with the character of Moon Knight. If you want a dark and gritty game, you can easily... This can even be an M-rated game, too, like a M-rated superhero game. This can be a very dark and sinister storyline, because Moon Knight's one of those type of dark characters. You could have... all that equipment, his bladed moonerangs, I guess you could call him. He carries guns. And he has, one of the most unique rogues gallery. I mean, you could bring in the werewolf for a boss fight, Werewolf by Night, because he's not only an enemy, he's also an ally. So he'd be cool as, a boss fight. You could also have... who else? Shadow Knight. His brother Shadow Knight would be a cool boss fight. There's just a lot of things you could, let's see, I know I'm forgetting someone else, because he, I can't believe I'm forgetting I can't believe I'm forgetting his arch nemesis, Bushmaster. I think that's if I remember, I cannot believe I'm forgetting his arch enemy's name. But yeah, he would be cool in there. Moon Knight has some very dark dark enemies, and you could even have Bullseye in here. That'd be cool. Have Bullseye as a boss fight. Also, I'd like to see free roam on here. But next up is Nova. Yeah, Nova would be a great game. You could how I would do it is like one or two things, like Nova. learning to be part of the Nova Corps. What else would be there? Or Nova after Annihilation. Or that can be the story. Like, you can have Nova in the during a whole story where you play as Nova throughout the Annihilation saga. That'd be kind of cool, and have the main, like, the big boss battles in Annihilus. It'd be kind of cool. I mean, controlling all of becoming the Nova Prime, and learning to control all that power, the flight, the super strength, the energy blasts, everything. I mean, Nova would be this game would probably be like a space odyssey, like God of War in space. That's how I would make. That's how I would pretty much set it up. Nova would be God of War in space. Because it's kind of like Annihilation was kind of like that with Nova. He was a guy trying to get revenge on a all-powerful being that screwed him over royally. So, a Nova game. I'm just hoping for a Nova game. That'd be incredibly epic. And yeah, I'd even make it M-rated because, come on, let's face it, how he took out Annihilus, that's Mortal Kombat style. So yeah, an M-rated superpowered space game would be completely epic. But moving on to Iron Fist. Yeah, Iron Fist would be another fantastic game. I'd actually set it in the Brubaker run. With the eight deadly weapons. I'd actually make those characters boss fight characters. Learning to control all those martial arts skills. The Iron Fist move would be cool. Controlling chi, you can level up on that. Would be. That's what I also put in the game. I'd even put I'd also try to make this M-rated. Just to show blood when he's punching somebody, all this blood flies everywhere, or he punches somebody and their organs give out. Stuff like that, because Iron Fist will kill. So that'd be interesting. Also, I'd have Luke Cage in here and have co-op. You can play as co-op missions with Luke Cage, and bring in Misty Knight, bring in the other heroes for hire. But I basically follow around the Brubaker one with with the 8 cities and whatnot. That's more or less what I do with Daniel Rad. So next up is Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow. Yeah, a Black Widow game would be epic. I mean, if you're looking for this would be a cool shooter game with playing as Natasha. I mean, I could see the whole tutorial level is basically her in the Russian. In Soviet Russia, the whole tutorial level can be her. You play as her through all these little training exercises in Russia. Boom, right there. You could play through. Actually, what would be kind of cool is play in Black Widow's entire story, entire life. First off, you play as a villain, and you have to one of the boss fights would be Iron Man, and another would be Hawkeye. But you eventually become a hero. I'd also like to employ all the gadgets, like the stingers. Or the Widow Bites, whatever they call them. Use hand-to-hand combat, and basically stealth moves. Kind of make it like a superpowered Black Ops in a way with Black Widow. That'd be cool. I'd like to. She's another character that doesn't get a lot of attention, and she's Black Widow's Natasha's a perfect character to base an entire game around. And like I said, the whole game can be basically her life, starting out as a villain, then eventually becoming a hero. But yeah, more or less. But that'd be really cool. But moving on to, we're gonna move on to Daredevil. Now with Daredevil, I think there was a game based around the movie. I'm not sure, but what I would do how I would make a Daredevil game is basically make it around the Frank Miller run. I'd basically make a Daredevil game around the Frank Miller books, even around Born Again. That was a very gritty story. There was a lot of enemies like Nuke and Bullseye, and we'd even see traditional Bullseye and traditional Kingpin in here. You could fight against, utilizing all of Matt's abilities, the radar sense and going around town. In Hell's Kitchen, that I also make Hell's Kitchen free roam, And also, I'd make this a very dark game, probably like M-rated for swearing and blood, but I wouldn't have Matt kill. There would be moves where like takedown moves, like he breaks someone's arm or something, and or punches them and like kicks them and their bones shatter or something like that. Something like something on like a Frank Miller game would be like. Now next up is Black Panther. Yeah, T'Challa would be another great character to play as, another streetwise character. I can actually see this like you're going through the state, like kind of like the Marvel Knight stuff. First, like some levels you play in Wakanda, and other parts you can play as like in the city, like New York or San Francisco or wherever, or even have the Avengers guest star in here. You could have all of his boss character. He has an interesting rogues gallery as well, like Eric Killmonger. You could make Eric Killmonger the main boss in this game. You could fight against Manape. That could probably be like a first boss. Another one I could see is like White Wolf, his stepbrother. Just so many characters, and this would also be like another gritty game. Kind of like I'd also have it like you have to use like stealth moves for some of them. I would not base it around the stuff what they're doing with Black Panther now. I mean, I don't mind it. I haven't heard a lot of good things about it, but a game where you're playing in Wakanda and move on to the city, like there's this big plot involving vibranium. I mean, you could have Doctor Doom in here as well, or even Hydra. That'd be kind of cool. But Black Panther's another character doesn't get a lot of respect, but I think with a game like this, it'd be a very upbringing of the character. But finally is Ms. Marvel. Yeah, you didn't think I bet you weren't thinking I was going to use her. But yeah, a Ms. Marvel game would be really fantastic. Would be fantastic. You could use all those powers: the super strength, the flight, the energy blasts. And eventually evolving through her powers. I'd actually use the Skrulls as the main villain in here. There's kind of like base it around Secret Invasion, but only like Ms. Marvel knows. Or you could even have I'd even put the Brood and Mystique in here, because for those who don't know, Mystique was a Ms. Marvel villain before she became an X-Men villain. So that's what I would utilize in here. I would utilize all of her powers. This wouldn't be an M-rated game, but a good T-rated. I'd also even have Captain Marvel guest star in here, but yeah, like I said, other boss characters I'd put in here is like Super Skrull or Ronan the Accuser from the Kree. No, there are so many characters you can put in with Ms. Marvel. I'd even have like Arena in here as like a co-op character. Because for a short time, Arena was kind of like the quote-unquote sidekick of Ms. Marvel for a short time. So that'd be another thing I'd try to put in here. But what do you guys think of who would you guys pick for a video game? Who would you guys want to see in a Marvel, if Marvel and Activision decide to do another Marvel video game? What characters would you want to see in here, and what'd you think of these? You guys can comment, video response, or all types of stuff. It doesn't matter. I just thought this would be a very interesting idea. So there's all that.